There was once an old oak tree, unusually large, on a rise near Gismar in the center of present-day Germany. The tree's stature made it a natural sight to behold. By the year 724 AD, the area had been Christianized, but in a form blended with local culture. The tree was called the Oak of Thor, and was believed to be protected by the god of thunder. Charles Martel was embattled with the Islamic Moors in southern Europe, so northern Europe was left to the missionaries, and one of those missionaries was Boniface. Upon his arrival in Gismar, Boniface noticed that the local Christians blended their faith with the unbelieving culture around them. Some local Christians, along with pagans, still sacrificed at the tree and feared the gods of their forest. So Boniface took an axe to the tree. First, he notched one side of the massive tree trunk to secure that it would fall in the right direction. In the words of his contemporary biographer, as he cut the notch, a great throng of pagans who were there cursed him bitterly among themselves because he was the enemy of their gods. Felling notches are relatively small. After completing it, Boniface went to the opposite side of the grand oak and began to swing, ready to spend the afternoon severing the trunk. Within 2 or 3 strokes, a mysterious high wind in the canopy broke the oak and it fell. It had a rotten core, but no one could see this from the outside. They saw only its might. Boniface subdued the mighty timbers to build a chapel. One historian in the 19th century wrote, Boniface was advised to argue mildly and not expose the genealogy of the heathens, but he grew impatient and resorted to arguments which the pagans would understand. They had an oak sacred to Thor. This was the rallying point. Boniface went right to the biggest symbol of the unbelievers and addressed it directly. Boniface was not popular that day, but he is now known as the great apostle to the Germans. Soon after the tree fell, the pagans who had cursed stopped cursing, and believing, they blessed God. Each year, the ACCS recognizes the actions of a Christian leader who steps forward and stands faithfully for Christian truth, goodness, or beauty against the prevailing pressure of our culture. Someone willing to wield a rhetorical axe as they speak the truth of Christ and His kingdom. In post-Christian America, Christians must be vigilant to remember that compromising the gospel does not bring in more converts. Rather, it converts the gospel to something else entirely. When we lovingly hold to the faith once and for all given to the saints, we speak in solidarity with our brothers, alive and sleeping, who have proclaimed the unchanging gospel for 2,000 years.